All right, welcome to this week's Walker Talk. Brooklyn's not going to talk for a little bit because she's eating a frozen burrito. So if you ever hear any chewing or chomping in the background, or if you hear a fork on a plate, it's because she's eating a burrito. I did not.
Green chili bean burrito.
Yep, a green chili bean burrito.
Delicious.
She likes those ones. Anyway, we are. It's been 2 weeks since we did this, or this is the second week of 2 that we haven't done it. So we got a lot to talk about. We really should jump into it and not lollygag. We lollygag too much at the start of these things. Okay, so first thing, well, I'm going to skip it because Brooklyn's still eating her burrito, and then we'll come back to it. But so a couple weeks ago, we had you know what? She's back. She's here.
Oh yep, I'm here.
Talk about your haircut.
So I got a haircut for the first time in 3 years, like a professional haircut, because Matt has just been cutting my hair across straight
For
since
3
then.
years.
3 years.
Since she got that pixie
Which
cut.
was terrible.
No,
idea.
it was awesome.
Well, no, I mean, it was terrible to not have gotten a haircut since, because it looked horrible when it was growing out. And I should have just gotten a haircut, but I was in school and poor and too busy, so that would never happen again. Anyways, but I was looking for a haircut place, and I found this awesome, very highly reviewed salon, like literally 2 minutes from our apartment, like a 2-minute walk. And I had never seen it before, even though we've like driven past it a million times. It's sort of like a discreet looking place. You wouldn't really know it was a hair salon.
What's its name again?
The Compound.
The Compound. It looks like it's just like a.
I don't even know what it is.
I don't know. It just.
There's so many businesses here. You don't really pay that much attention to.
That's
ones
true.
Unless they really.
It's like
pop
Max
out.
Leather.
Yeah.
There's.
Yeah. So random.
There's this like random like shoe making store, like custom shoe. They make stuff out of all kinds of leathers, like alligator and other stuff like that. But it's just like so random.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So that was nice.
Yeah.
It's good to have a real haircut.
It's like right across. It's like literally 2 blocks away. It takes no time to walk to.
Mm-hmm.
Even pregnant Brooklyn can make it. Just kidding. She can walk a long ways. So that was a while ago. Last Tuesday. Right? Wednesday night, I went over with a bunch of the guys, went over to Paul Brantley's. The Brantleys are in our ward. I don't know if we've talked about them before.
I think we have.
His wife is from Hennifer, so if anything, that's probably what we
talked
brought up.
about her.
Yeah, I don't know.
That sounds familiar.
Talked about them. And they're really fun, but we had a game night with them and a couple other guys in the ward with Michael Applegarth and Barrett.
Just Barrett.
Just Barrett. I don't remember his last name.
It looks like Ron Baird.
He looks like Ron Baird though, which is kind of funny, which is one of Brooklyn's friends. But every time we see him at church, it looks just like him. Like his face looks just like him. His hair's a little different, but his face is like Ron Baird kind of thing. So it's kind of funny. Anyway, we played Smash Bros, which is great. And one day I'll do an opinion segment on it. Maybe not today because we have a lot to do. And then we played this game called Crawl, and it's way fun. Basically, like you're playing arcade type dungeon crawler, but all 3 of the players are monsters, and the one person is like playing it, so you're like fighting each other. Anyway, it's fun. That would take a lot more explanation than what I just said, but it's fun. It was just good to like go out and be with people in the ward and stuff. That's always good to make connections and stuff. So, and then so that was Wednesday. And then something's happened between then and Saturday, but the next highlight. Well, we had doctor's appointment. We'll talk about that in a second. But then, but that weekend though, on Saturday we went fishing. I went fishing, and Brooklyn watched. Just kidding. Brooklyn,
I cast a couple times.
Yep, Brooklyn also fished, and we caught a huge. I mean, it was like heavy, kind of a huge chunk of seaweed. It was like, and it just like my line was tangled up in it like crazy, but we caught it.
So we
I
did.
pulled it out and we took pictures, like I had caught something important. But we're gonna work on that. We'll get it. It was really fun though. One thing that was like way weird though, I don't know if you've been at the beach and you've like seen sand crabs before, or they're technically called sand fleas.
They still freak me out.
They're weird, but they're
Still
like
not sure they
they're
won't
like
bite.
probably half an inch, like between a quarter inch and a half inch big, and they're like they just kind of they sit where the surf like comes up to, like to the very tip of the surf, and they sit right there, and they kind of let their feelers out and they catch stuff. But if the water moves higher, they kind of come out of their holes and they move higher. If you like step around them, there were millions of them, and that's not an exaggeration. There had to have been at least 1 million of them, because maybe there was 1 million. There were so many of them, and they just sit right in the surf, and it's kind of like creepy and it's weird. It's like weird to get used to, because if you're standing right there when the water comes up, you can feel them like bumping against your feet and stuff, and it's kind of gross. Yeah. But if you just step like 2 more feet into the surf, like they're not there. They just sit right on that edge, but they're pretty gross. Yeah. But anyway, there are a lot of those. I need to work on what I bait my hook with, and I've heard that those are actually good to bait with, but I don't know yet. Basically, this trip was just about getting a line in the water. Was like, okay, we're gonna do this, and so we did.
It was fun.
It was fun. Brooklyn drew.
Mm-hmm. There was like nobody on the beach though. We left at like.
We got there at 8:00.
Left at like 10 or 11. 12?
Oh, we left at noon.
At noon
or 10.
Even then though, there was like nobody on the beach.
Yeah, I think
maybe it's just a less
school
popular
just
beach?
started, so
it's true.
School
Still,
just started, so
I just think that
less people are out on vacation now. So
I drew like birds,
yeah.
and Matt
and me fishing.
Yeah,
it was fun though.
It was fun.
We will do it again later that day. Haley and Gonzo, who we've talked about before, came to our apartment, and we hung out and we went and got lunch and talked for a while. And they were headed down to Irvine. Oh no, Mission Viejo, to visit a friend, and so they just stopped by for a while, and we ate lunch and talked. It was awesome. Yeah. We love them a lot. They're really good people, really good friends, and it's just nice having somebody that's like you're really close with, that you can just kind of talk about whatever with and just like have a good time. They're super funny and super fun. So that was good. We ate sushi. We'll talk about the restaurant later, but we had sushi. We like sushi.
We do
a lot. So then I don't know when this next one happened. Sometime between sushi and now, Brooklyn's mom wanted to call and talk to us about birth or labor and delivery, I guess, is just kind of practicing contractions, kind of talking about what Brooklyn will feel and maybe things that we can do to help. And we've been watching a lot of stuff and reading a lot about.
We've gone to classes.
And we've gone to classes and stuff. So but it was nice to hear it from Rebecca, like her just saying, this is what I did. This is how I felt when doing it and stuff. And this is what she has a friend named Sarah Lee that basically like helped her through all of
every birth except for my oldest sister Brittany, because I don't think they knew each other at that time.
Yeah,
but they've been friends for years. I mean, their whole lives, and they were essentially each other's doulas during their births. So
anyway, so that was really good and really nice of her to talk us through that, because
and she's gonna try to come out hopefully when the baby birth, we're mostly just wanting her to be here for after. We'd rather err on that side instead of her being here and then the baby doesn't come and then she has to leave.
Yeah,
so
seriously.
We'll probably have her out after, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but it's good. We're just glad that we have a supportive family.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, it is. Let's see. So that. Oh yeah, and then during last week, there was one of the best things that's ever happened. I'm just kidding. No, there was a Sony pop-up sale. So they do these sales for Sony employees on the Sony Entertainment lots, which, you know what, I'm going to go back to current events for a second, because this is big in the news and I just think that this is kind of stupid. So maybe you guys have heard about it, maybe not, but Spider-Man, so Sony owns Spider-Man. They own the rights to Spider-Man. That's why they've made the movies, and they have not sold it back to Disney or Marvel because it's like the most like it's made
Popular
the most
Marvel
popular Marvel anything. Like Spider-Man
It's
has
the one
been
thing that Disney can't get their little fingers on.
Yeah. Anyway, so even when Disney made the Avengers movies and Spider-Man was in those, they didn't own him. They were licensing him from Sony, basically, or rent. What is that licensing?
Yeah,
I think that's the right way to say that. Anyway, Sony still made money from having Spider-Man in those movies. They have made 2 standalone Spider-Man films, and Sony made them with, and this is how I understand it, and even if this is not right, I'm still right about this, is Sony basically produces the movie with Marvel and Disney's creative direction. So writing, cinematography, directing. So they've made 2 movies. Recently, and the split, from what I understand, has been 95% of ticket sales revenue is ticket sales and DVD sales, I guess, is 95% Sony and 5% Disney. And Disney gets 100% of the merchandise sales. So t-shirts, action figures, toys, costumes, like everything, which makes far and away more money than do ticket sales and movie sales. Disney this week came to Sony and essentially asked for a 50-50 split on movie sales as well. And Sony was like, you get that trash out of my face. You don't get Spider-Man unless we agree on the 95-5 deal, basically. And Disney went out and said something online that was like, well, Sony's pulling Spider-Man from the Marvel Cinematic Universe and he won't be in any more movies or something like that. And the internet was furious at Sony. And immediately in my mind, I was like, why is anyone upset at Sony? Because Disney is like, rules the world, first of all. Second of all, like, they don't own Spider-Man. Like, they're lucky to have had him in the movies anyway. And then they're like trying to bargain up this like higher price, which they already make more than Sony does from Spider-Man anyway. It's absurd.
Greedy.
It's greedy. It's absurd. And I was really upset about that. And then like slowly Sony's released some stuff, and it turns out that Disney wanted more money and whatever. And slowly the internet is starting to turn like, oh yeah, Disney is the greedy one in this situation. Like they're the ones that are treating Sony poorly, not Sony treating Disney or Marvel poorly. I was right about that. It's like already it started. It's been like 4 days and people blew up at Sony and they were like, Sony's the worst company and they're going to ruin Spider-Man. And it's like, it wasn't Sony's fault. That's all. Okay. Now, back on this, but Sony does these pop-up sales on the Sony Entertainment lots where they film Spider-Man on Sony lots. Not Disney lots, Sony lots.
He's so upset.
Just kidding. No, but on those lots, they did a pop-up sale basically where they sell anything, or a lot of things Sony makes. Cameras, electronics, yeah. Cameras, headphones, speakers, PlayStations, VR games, stuff, movies, like all kinds of just around the Sony Entertainment stuff.
Yeah.
And so Brooklyn went, and I said, Brooklyn, you know what? If there's a cheap PlayStation 4, I want to get one because I'm not going to pay full price for one ever. So let's get one if it's cheap enough. And
these were all like factory recertified PlayStations. So they still they work perfect and they're new. They just were sent back for whatever reason and they get reworked or whatever.
Yeah, reworked.
So like a great deal on a lot of this stuff.
We got a killer deal, and so we bought.
We still spent a lot of money.
We spent a lot of money on it, but Brooklyn. I think it's Brooklyn's fault. I don't blame myself.
My fault.
No, it's not. I wanted it, but Brooklyn was really nice, and we have the money for it, so we got a PlayStation 4.
Because here's the thing.
With a Spider-Man game. Because Sony makes Spider-Man. And Sony, the only thing you can play Spider-Man games on is a PlayStation 4. Because Sony owns Spider-Man. They made the Spider-Man game. So they put it on PlayStation. The thing they own. That's okay. Sony owns stuff. Sorry.
What I was saying though is, I don't know if you guys have heard about like push and pull presents. I'd never heard about it till recently, but people will do these. Well, actually, there's no such thing as a pull present. I think we made that up. But there's a push present where like the husband will get
or just after the wife has a baby,
they'll give them a present. Yeah, like
they get a gift.
Present.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, Matt should get a pull present because he's gonna pull the baby out.
Yeah, because I do. We a lot both of work.
Get
so we're both gonna get presents. This was mine.
This was
and
his.
We'll get
so
Brooklyn,
this was his
we'll
pull
get
present.
Brooklyn something crazy too.
No, I don't need it. Anyways,
it'd be crazy.
That was our justification.
But no, it was awesome because we saved
money aside.
We saved like $300
right
on stuff.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
It was a good deal.
Yeah, it was a good deal. Screaming deal. And if it's like, well, I don't want this, you can sell it and still make back what we made.
At a big discount and still make more.
Yeah. than we paid for it also. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sweaty because it's hot in our apartment.
It's so hot.
Okay, we're going to keep going. That one took way too long. And then that happened in the middle of the week. This weekend, we've been just like taking it easy. We ordered pizza on Friday. We've been watching tons of Psych. As a matter of fact, I'm going to write that in here. We've been watching tons of Psych, eat pizza, relax, play Spider-Man, Sony Spider-Man on a PlayStation.
Oh my gosh.
Just kidding. And then Saturday, though, we were like, Brooklyn needed to finish up some work. She did it in the morning. And then we kind of were like, what are we going to do? Like, we only had $10 for like our guilt-free spending thing that we do. We're like, so we can't do a ton. But about 3 or 4 months ago, maybe longer than that, I don't know, like 6 months ago, we made these popsicle sticks in a jar that have like ideas for things when we're like, what should we do? And this is the first time we've really used it. We've used it before. Anyway, so early in the morning, we're like, okay, well, let's use them because we really don't know what we want to do today. We weren't sure about going out. We didn't have a lot of money or whatever. And so we pull a stick and Brooklyn pulls out, or Uno.
And that was so upset.
No, I wasn't upset.
He's just like, are you
It's
serious?
just like we put one stick in for every game we own. As a matter of fact, we need to write some sticks for new games that we got. But anyway, so it was Uno, and it was like, oh great, Uno, like woo.
It was fun.
Wait, yeah, we'll come back to it in a second. We had a lot of fun playing Uno. We played Mancala.
Yeah, when I pulled out the Mancala stick, Matt
that was the
almost
next one.
lost it.
Yeah, okay.
He's never won. I've always won every time.
You know what? We're just gonna go through this right now.
I am the queen.
Brooklyn smoked me in Uno. We played best 3 out of 5. Well, it started as 2 out of 3, but Brooklyn won the first one.
I just got so lucky.
And the
with all my
second one,
cards.
she destroyed me. I mean, I thought I on my first hand pulled a wild and a wild draw 4. So I had those and 3 others, and I was kind of holding on to them because I was like, man, I could chain these together and just like win the game. And Brooklyn just boop, 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 Uno, boop. Like I just got destroyed by Brooklyn.
So great.
And so then it turned into best 3 out of 5. I won the next one and then lost the last one. Brooklyn is great at Uno.
It was awesome. The Matt played a card and he's like, you don't have a green, do you? And I was like, nope. And then I put down the card, but it was a matching number.
That's
awesome.
right. That's right, because I put a green card down and then it matched the number.
Yeah.
Real good.
Brooklyn's it was so luck. Good. It's all luck, honestly. At a certain point, it's just the cards.
Brooklyn's undefeated at Uno except
and
once.
Mancala.
Okay, but this is for real. So after I got destroyed at Uno, I cried a little bit, and then we were like, okay, we'll pull another stick. I did not cry. For the record, was not real tears. It was fake. Then we were like, okay, let's draw another stick. And Brooklyn, no, I drew the stick. And it was Mancala. Oh, yeah. And I hate Mancala.
I love Mancala.
Brooklyn loves it. I only hate it because I've never beat Brooklyn at it. Brooklyn, we've played dozens of games of Mancala. And Brooklyn has beat me every single time. I'm so bad at it. And there's times where I'm like, oh man, I'm so smart. I'm doing, like, I got this. And Brooklyn destroys me still. So, and I was like, I'm only playing one game of this. And Brooklyn beat me, of course. So that happened. And then we drew a Then we drew a draw together stick. So we drew together.
Yes.
And which is fun. Then we just kind of spent the rest of the day hanging out. Ate food, watched Psych. It was good. So that was that. So going back now to baby update. So we had an appointment with the doctor 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And at that appointment, the doctor did an ultrasound and he said that our baby was measuring small, just a little bit small. Pretty small, but he was concerned, but not like,
I'm not too
he's like,
worried.
we're not sure really about this. And so he said, did he right then? No, it was like later he looked over it again. And he's like, you know what? I'm ordering an
called me
ultrasound.
back,
Yeah. So he says, there are things that we're concerned about. We're going to order a full ultrasound, with the ultrasound techs and stuff. And we're like, oh man, like we really hope. It was like kind of scary. We weren't sure about like what's really going on and is it really bad. And we did the other ultrasound test thing, and they're like, okay, well the radiologist said that he'll let you know, or basically let us go home. And we went home, and then we went for a walk and came back, and Brooklyn forgot her phone. We came back and there were 2 missed calls from Kaiser, the hospital, and no messages or anything. We're like, oh my gosh, like they called us twice, like something terrible is happening. And over that weekend, they didn't call us again until Monday, right?
Right.
And so it was like a couple days we're like, oh man. And I was like, don't worry, like if it was really bad they would have called us again.
And
you know,
like,
and
I
stuff.
need to eat more food.
Yeah,
like
she's
too small.
She's too small. I gotta fatten her up. I gotta, whatever. And which I don't think is.
I don't.
is
I mean, I
how
asked
it
the doctor.
works.
He's like, no, like that's not going to affect
that doesn't
it.
do anything. Yeah.
There's not really anything you can do at this point.
Yeah, and so anyway, but then they called on Monday and he said, well, she's a little bigger than we thought she was. So instead of 10th percentile, like 20th. So
she's still smaller, but it's not.
Like not dangerously small.
He's not concerned.
So we're happy about that, and we're so close to having a baby.
3 days.
3 days from today.
Woo!
Whew. I'm excited. I've wanted this. I just want the baby to be here so bad now. I'm not even the pregnant one, and I just want her to be here. So
every time I have a twinge of pain, Matt's like, "Is it a contraction?"
Oh, I know.
Like so excited.
I get so excited. I'm just ready for it to happen. But
speaking of twinges of pain, I don't know if anyone who has been pregnant listening to this has felt this, but I started feeling so after the baby dropped. There's a certain point where I was like, I'm pretty sure she's dropped. Like I felt that it feels lower. I felt like I can breathe better. I started feeling these little shocks of pain in my hips and pelvis, and it really feels like you're being kind of electrocuted a little bit. But it's called, I guess, lightning crotch pain, and it is the worst. Every day at 10 p.m. I start feeling
before bed.
Yeah, right before bed, or right when we get into bed. I start getting these pains, and I guess it's the baby's head just moving against your nerve endings and making it feel like little shocks of pain are going through your hips, and it is the worst. It's making me really excited to not have a baby anymore.
So that's why Brooklyn wants the baby out.
Yes.
Mine is completely different. I just want the baby. I want to hold the baby. I want to kiss the baby.
Yeah. We're excited.
I want to change that baby's diapers.
This pain anymore. This immobilizing pain. I can't even walk.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
We're excited.
We are, and everything's good. So we're ready. We're ready for it. So on to opinions. All right, let's start going. We're going to start with the compound. How do you feel about the haircut?
Oh, it was good. Yeah,
okay.
10 out of 10. Great.
Would go again.
Would go again.
Anything wrong with the haircut?
No. I don't think so.
So if anyone's ever in Culver City and they're like, oh, I want to get a haircut, the compound.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Great job. Okay, so tell them about the next part.
Oh yeah, I got this bottle of purple shampoo when we were down in Long Beach with Melissa and Blake and his family. Anyways, I was like, oh, I really want to try the Shimmer Lights purple shampoo because it's supposed to make your hair more silvery. It takes out the brassiness. And my hair's not dyed, so it's not it's brassy. But my sister's used it, and she just has kind of the silvery colored hair, or has in the past. I don't think she does now. And I was like, I really want to try that. And I tried it, and it was like no effect at all. It did not change my hair at all. So I was like, okay, I'll try it again. Left it in for like 15 minutes because it recommends 5 to 10 minutes. Left it in for 15 minutes, like no effect. I tried it a third time, 20 or 25 minutes, and still like the tiniest effect. Like I can barely see
anything.
A little bit. Like I think it's lightened it a little bit, but I was just like expecting it to be.
It seems
like,
definitely a lot more as like if you've dyed your hair,
and it's
work.
Like yellowy. You can put this in, and it will turn it more of like a not silvery, but it will take out that brassiness because the purple is like it helps to neutralize it or whatever. Anyway, so
if you have dyed hair, what would you suggest?
I would suggest
like 10 out of 10.
Oh yeah, 10 out of 10. If your hair is, but maybe it's just my hair. I don't know. Maybe I need to try it for longer because my hair could like not take to dye very well or something.
No, this is like that's the wrong thing. It's like okay, I'll just since it says 10 minutes, I'll just leave it in for 30 minutes,
hours.
And my hair will melt off my head. I don't think it's a good idea.
If you put it in for too long, it just says it will turn it kind of purpley, which I think looks kind of cool. I know somebody who does that to her hair. She uses this shampoo, and there's times when it's like I can tell she left it in for a little too long. It looks cool though. I like it. That's just
She's
me,
just
though.
saying that.
That's just me.
She's just covering her tracks.
Anyways,
but it doesn't work for Brooklyn.
It hasn't worked super well.
So 2 out of 10 for Brooklyn.
It's worked a little bit. I don't know, not enough for it to be worth it, I guess.
No, I mean it's.
I've been wanting to try this shampoo for like literally 2 years, and I just always forget, or I just like I'll try it later. But
yeah,
finally got it. Because there was like a Sally's beauty salon or whatever right by the massage place that we went to. And so I just got it. So anyways.
Good.
Yep.
Cool. So the next place is Tentenyu Ramen, which is where we ate our sushi. And I got ramen. Now, first of all, if you've never actually had real ramen, because Brooklyn didn't think ramen was a thing. She thought ramen restaurants were just like Top Ramen places, basically. And she was like, why would anyone ever go there? But ramen is actually really good. Like, it's generally in a pork broth, and it has pork and some vegetables in it, and the noodles are just delicious. At least, now, we've only had ramen twice now. The first time, it was really, really good. And we had it kind of when it was a lot cooler and stuff, and it was really good. The this time, I did not like the ramen as much. And it could be that it's just summertime and it's hot, and it's like you don't get ramen when it's hot outside. Like you don't have chicken noodle soup when it's hot outside. If you do, you're a weirdo. Just kidding. Chicken noodle soup's delicious. I don't judge anyone for their soup preferences. But it might have been that. But the sushi was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, we like sushi.
Yeah, sushi's
I've already
good.
said that.
As long as I don't eat like shark or giant tuna, I can still eat sushi.
Okay.
Which I'm glad about because I love sushi. And our doctor is like, you're fine, just don't eat too much.
Yeah.
Salmon's good.
So anyway, I would give it probably a 5 out of 10. I wouldn't go there again. It was just as mediocre as mediocre gets. It was just like the atmosphere was kind of interesting. It was like a small bar type thing. Downtown Culver has like a lot of little restaurants, and I don't love the teeny restaurant feel all the time. Sometimes they're just like they feel like too chic sometimes though. It's like too fancy. It's like, well, I just want food. Okay, this one is not really... I don't know how to explain this one. This is more a story that needs to be told, but we're just going to make an opinion too. So, there's this stuff, and it's called pearl couscous, or Israeli couscous, I think is what it is. Because couscous is like... is kind of almost like a cornmeal, like dry corn, like cornmeal consistency. And it's pretty yummy. But then there's also pearl couscous, which is a lot more like tapioca. Now,
it's delicious.
In Brooklyn, how much do you like pearl couscous?
I love it. And well, I forgot we had it.
It's delicious. She would give it a 10 out of 10 though. She really, really, really likes it. The consistency's great. It tastes pretty good.
Right. This is what happened though. So we were like, okay, we don't have any food. We need to go shopping, but we don't really want to like order out or whatever. And so we just put together dinner out of like the most random stuff. Like,
oh yeah.
So there was like half a cup of pearl couscous left, And we made like rice and like put corn on the side or something.
No,
just like random stuff. Matt ate like a
green
salad.
beans. Oh yeah, we just had some
green
romaine
beans.
lettuce, and I just like
Chopped
ate
it up.
romaine lettuce.
With just like salad dressing.
Oh,
Anyways.
it's corn.
Corn.
That's right, that's corn.
So, so I make this couscous, and I'm like so excited because I love couscous. I forgot we had it, and right when it was done, I like accidentally knocked the pot off of the stove, and it spills everywhere.
She lost almost all the couscous.
I was so sad. I was like, what the heck? The one thing that I wanted to eat.
Yeah, all the other stuff was like a can of corn. We like chopped up a sweet potato. It was so random.
It's like such random stuff.
But
so I got like 2 bites left of couscous, and I'd throw the rest away. I was so sad because our floor is disgusting. Just kidding. But it's just an olden apartment.
Don't eat anything off the floor.
Well, if your floor is really clean, never mind. That's an opinion, I guess, for later. 5-second rule. Just kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was sad about that. But it was kind of funny.
Yeah. Cool. That's all about couscous. The next one we're going to talk about is Mancala. I hate it. It's the worst game ever.
I love Mancala.
0 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Never would.
Right.
Ever play.
Uno.
Okay, Uno. Uno's great.
I do like Uno. It's fun.
Uno's a great party game.
It's one that you never like think to play until you're playing it, and you're like, "That's actually fun." I forgot about this.
It's like one of those things. It's like Uno, and then it's pretty fun to play, even when you get destroyed by your wife. Uno's still fun. 10 out of 10 on Uno. Like,
it is good,
and especially for parties, like it's such a simple game. There's just nothing better than Uno. Oh, but the rules in Uno are like there's so many house rules. It's like Monopoly. Like no one actually knows how to play Monopoly. Like, I don't know if anyone, well, people do know, but so many people play Uno incorrectly. Like, the draw 2 cards, I'm pretty sure you can't stack draw 2 cards. But I might be wrong about that, because I don't know.
That's how we play.
But I guarantee that you cannot stack a draw 4 on a draw 2. I'm almost positive of that. And I don't know. Anyway, Uno's great.
It is great.
But make sure you're playing it right. Okay, the very last thing is we've been watching loads of Psych. What do you think about Psych?
I think it's hilarious. I'd only ever seen like an episode before. But yeah, it's funny. I like it because they don't take themselves too seriously. And so it's not like dramatic and it's just like a fun, light, like really funny, really well written, comedic.
Where you really like
show.
like the characters, the mysteries are really fun, but it's never like too serious or too scary.
Right.
Sometimes it's kind of scary.
The 2 main characters just play off each other so well.
Like Gus and Sean are just so good.
We've talked about how like if it was just one or the other, like the show would be unbearable. Like Sean is so annoying, but like because Gus is there to like balance him out, it's like hilarious.
Yeah.
But
it's a good show. I've seen all of it. We just got to like the 4th season.
Right.
So
we like it.
We like it a lot. Anyway, that's all. That was long. Not our longest though. So is there anything else we need to talk about?
I think so.
Okay. We love you. See ya.
Bye.
Say bye, Brooklyn.
Bye.